Welcome back to my channel and thank you all for coming here today. I have been very quiet for about 3 weeks and I did this on purpose. So I did a little bit of a project, and what it was literally unplugging from social media. I just felt not overwhelmed. I felt like I had to continuously bring out content on a weekly basis, whether it was good, it was shit, whether it was, relevant or irrelevant, whatever it was. And I found that I had to get the right algorithms. I had to be, continuously posting. And I thought, that's not what I wanted to do this channel for. This channel was more to reach out to people. I unplugged from social media. I did not create a video. YouTube, I only got on to get some recipes because I had to do a couple of things, and that was pretty much it. I did not watch, I have not watched the news in 5 years. My husband will switch the TV on every now and then, but I didn't even watch the news. I didn't want to watch the news. I don't want to know what's going on. People are like, but you're so ignorant if you don't know what's going on. But at the end of the day, it's not ignorance. It's a choice that I made consciously 5 years ago, that I do not want to have a stomach ulcer going to bed at night because of events that are happening around the world and the way that the news portrays it. It's literally listening to one side of the story and not being down there in the trenches of whatever's happening in the world and feeling helpless and hopeless, and also the anger, resentment, and all these emotions. And it was like, why am I watching this? I can't make a change. I can't change that physically, whatever. But I can change the way I feel about it, and that was just switching off the TV and not watching news since then. Then, as you know, last year COVID hit. Our lives pre-COVID, we can't go back to that. We have to move forward, we have to adjust, and we have to adapt as human beings. Now, I've had a lot of clients over the last couple of weeks, and I've been pretty busy with both at the office, in the training organization, and also with my clients as well. And it was time for me to just take a step back and stop thinking about what video I'm going to create next, because I'm not a very creative person in that sense. I probably have hundreds of stories to tell you, but unless I write them all down and script everything, which every video I've done has been completely unscripted, even now it's unscripted. So that's probably why I chop and change a lot of my videos. I unscript. I know people talk about you need to script. I don't like doing that. And my battery's running out. Let me just get another battery. Fresh battery. Now, why did I also unplug from social media? I also found that a lot of my clients were going through really high volumes of stress. I could relate to that. Okay, I'd watch the protests in Melbourne and I was getting very emotional about it because all of my family and friends are in Melbourne. We also have really good family and friends in Sydney as well. These people are going through such high anxious times, and I could feel the frustration, I could feel the uncertainty, I could feel the helplessness, I could feel the hopelessness. And I guess a lot of people don't realize is that Melbourne has had the longest lockdowns in the world. And it's made no difference whether they've had a lockdown or they didn't, because the numbers are still incredibly high. I can't make sense of that. Same as Sydney, numbers still go up. They've had lockdown for 4 months. Made no difference whether it's lockdown or it's not lockdown. When people have been controlled like that without their consent and it's enforced, it changes the whole brain. It changes your whole perception. It changes your stress levels. You are in constant fight mode, flight mode, and that amount of cortisol in people's bodies is making them sick. And that amount of stress on the mind, on the brain, on your emotions is also causing a lot of dis-ease. And I'm not talking about diseases in cancer and heart disease. It's causing dis-ease in the body. Your body cannot function with 4 months straight of fight or flight syndrome, literally. It can't. It becomes trauma in your body. And your body cannot cope with all that stress, especially for people in Melbourne. It's been literally a year and a half. It's getting beyond ridiculous now. I'm talking about the stress on people's mental health, the stress on their bodies, and that's just unacceptable. Virus or no virus, that is just unacceptable. You know, the amount of suicides that has happened in these two states is not even being recorded because nobody's really talking about it. Nobody's talking about the suicides amongst the young and the old and the elderly in nursing homes. I actually had to stop watching that because it was affecting me on an internal level, and I started feeling like I have no control of my life. I don't have control of my emotions. I actually literally cried for 2-3 days. And I realized that this is all imprinting on me. So all this media, all this pain, all this, it was just flooding me, and I let it in. And I realized I let it in because I was reacting to it on such a deep emotional level. So hence why I actually disconnected from all social media, from internet, from all the stuff, even the news on YouTube. I just closed it all off. And the benefits were astounding. First of all, I had better mental clarity. I could focus a lot more. And most of all, I didn't feel like I was not in control. I felt like the word was my husband said to me is violated. I said I didn't feel violated. So imagine when you're not aware of what's going on, how you're feeling and you're reacting is to the external circumstances in your life. And social media has a huge part to play in that. And it's friggin' incredibly huge. Now, everybody has their own views on social media, and people who are very no, it's got nothing to do with it, then you're deluding yourself because social media has control of you. The moment you cannot disconnect from social media, the moment you cannot even close your accounts, you are addicted to it. You are obsessed with it, but you're mostly addicted to it. Why? Because you're trying to get that same dopamine rush every time you click onto your page and you're seeing how many likes people put on your, say, Instagram, how many likes to that cup of coffee you had that morning. The whole thing is that social media started off as it was a connection device. It was to connect people together. But it's also given rise to people to be nasty, to be rude, to be violent, to impose on other people's privacy. And as you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole lot of them, all these platforms, they sell your information. They've given it to governments. They've given it to everybody because that's how they influence elections. That's how they influence the mobs. That's how they influence who you vote for. They influence what you buy. And if you think I'm lying and you want to stop the video, go ahead. That is your choice. But the truth is, they control how you think, act and feel exactly through your social media profile. They've been monitoring you for a really long time. The whole thing about YouTube is it's structured so that you stay on it and you're addicted to it and you're on it for long periods of time. Now, I don't know about you, but you can actually get something on your laptop and your iPhone and have a look at how long you've been on screen time on certain platforms, whether it's Facebook, the web, email, messenger, whatever it is, it actually tells you. So have a look at how much you are spending on your phone. Secondly, why I became a little bit more aware of this was that I found that when I'm sitting idle, I'll just pick up my laptop, not my iPhone, my laptop, and start Googling stuff. So my husband and I have been reading Jim Quick's book, Limitless, and he's got if you haven't read it, please read it. I'm not sponsored by him. You just have to read it. And it makes you realize how much we rely on technology to get us by. When we started reading that, I ordered 3 UBDs. Now, if you're not in Australia, you don't know what a UBD is. It is a roadmap of the roads in your city. So I got 3 Brisbane ones. I got one for the Gold Coast, one for the Sunshine Coast, and all the roads in Australia if you're touring in Australia. I bought them because when I started driving at 18, 19, I had a Melbourne UBD, which was the Melway, And I knew exactly where to go using that. The moment GPSs came out, we've actually gotten dumb. And that's the only single word I'm going to use. We've become dumb. It's thinking for us. We're not learning that road. We're not learning how to get there. We're not looking at road names. We're just following a direction. And you can go to the same place. And you know, if you're using your iPhone with Google Maps, and you can go to the same place 5 times, you still don't know how to get there without that map, because you haven't created that neural pathway in your mind. You haven't taught yourself, I need to go down this street, turn left, go right here, and get to the destination. We're actually not learning anything. We're not learning. People say to me all the time that the youth of today are smarter than our generation. And I go, no, they're actually smart asses. They're not smarter. Why? Because you can throw any question at them, and because they have a device and they can get the answer, doesn't mean that that's smart. They actually haven't researched it. They've just typed it into a search engine. That's not information that gets stored into the mind. It actually just filters in and filters back out. It doesn't get stored because there hasn't been a process. Okay, so when I say disconnecting from social media, it doesn't mean that you have to disconnect from your friends. You could always still contact your friends through phone and email. You know, you can do that. But when I say disconnect, is like, don't read other people's posts. Don't get involved in conversations. And I'm not saying conversations that are good or bad, I'm just saying general conversations. Don't post. Don't react to someone else's post. The whole thing about social media is they actually know the whole human psyche. They know the psychology of how you're going to react to stuff. So they're always tracking your device. They always know exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you're feeling. They are going to use it, and they use that as the feedback. So you will always feel like you need to respond to something because it's going to pop up. And it's going to pop up because of the algorithms that they use. They use that. They use that literally against you. They use it technically for you, but it's really against you because they're training you like a dog. And I know it sounds really rude saying that, but they are literally training you like a dog. They'll give you a treat because they're giving you something for you to look at. And every time you click onto everything they get you to look at, they've got you hook, line, and sinker. You don't have control. You don't have control. The moment you succumb to spending hours on Instagram, hours on YouTube, hours on Facebook, hours on Twitter, what other social platform is there? You are LinkedIn. You are under their spell. They've got you hypnotized. They've got you hook, line, and sinker, as I say. They use the behavioral techniques. They know everything. How to get you onto their platform and get you to stay onto their platform. So they're going to make their money out of something. So it's the advertisers, and that's why they use the algorithms to manipulate you and sell you stuff you probably don't want. That's how it works. So you're asking me, what's the benefits of staying ignorant? I guess that's what you're going to ask me. What's the benefits of staying ignorant? Well, you're not ignorant at all. You're actually awakening to the fact that you are in control of what you read, you are in control of what you listen to and what you watch. And you've always been in control. It's just that the devices are made there to manipulate you, to get you roped in, to get you hooked on, and to also get a response out of you, whether it's a positive or negative response, because they're using your emotions. And this is how social media has always worked. It's always been a platform for you to unleash, which is sometimes a scary thing. I've seen some really scary stuff on social media, and you can become, and because you're hiding behind a profile name, you're not taking this interaction face to face. And when you're not taking an interaction face to face, you're not responsible for the way you're going to react. And a lot of people show a really nasty side to themselves, and that's because they've been provoked. And it's so easy to manipulate that human behavior when you know when you've got the tools. And this is what all social media platforms have under their belts. That's how they become billion-dollar companies. So what was the benefits? Okay, I have more time. I have so much more time. I am reading more. I am listening to more meditations. I'm listening to more podcasts. I'm feeding my brain with so much more positive information. I'm learning more things. I'm actually retaining, I think I'm retaining more information. I have more time with my husband. We are now spending more time together doing activities instead of sitting down watching TV or a show. We're not doing that as much anymore. We're getting outdoors more. We're taking control of our lives. And I look back, because I'm 49, and I don't know about how old you are, but when we were together 20 years ago, we didn't have social media, and we spent so much time together, even with friends. Now it's all texting each other, 100 texts just to get one answer. It's like, just pick up the phone and ring someone. You don't have to text backwards and forwards 50 times. Pick up the phone. Yeah, you want to meet up? Let's meet up. What time? Yeah, okay, let's do it. Have you seen texts where you're like losing the will to live because it's been 3 weeks and you're trying to get this coffee date with your friend, and it's like, oh my God, this is like, it's becoming like so impossible to get an answer, to get a response. It's like, pick up the phone, ring your loved ones, ring your friends. You don't need to send 50 texts. Just saying. Now, the other thing is that I felt was especially with my clients, was they felt that they are lonelier now, even with all the social media. They are lonelier now and disconnected from their loved ones, who are also in my position, interstate and or abroad, and they say you could Zoom and FaceTime as much as you want, but it's not the same connection you have when it's face to face, when you're having a cup of coffee with someone or sharing a meal and having lunch or a dinner. Just that quality time with someone is now literally irrelevant, because it doesn't mean anything. It's just on a device. It doesn't have that same value, I guess they're trying to say, is the value is not there anymore. So when you're not present with someone, when you're not in their space, it's really hard to feel that you're connected to humanity. The other thing is that I really felt that I am in control now. I don't have to bring out a video every week. I don't have to live by YouTube's rules. I don't have to have, the most incredible traffic coming through my YouTube channel. And to be honest, I never did this channel for anything but to help everybody. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted people to become aware of their own greatness, and that's all I wanted to do. That was my intention. It was never intended to be a popularity contest. It was never intended that I needed to have millions of subscribers. The truth is that I got asked by a family member, is like, why don't you just stop it? Why do you bother doing it? It takes a lot of your time to edit and film and everything. And I said, because I had a response from one person, and this one person literally made my life. made it worthwhile. All this learning, all these videos. You got to remember, I am not technologically advanced. This was all new to me at the beginning of the year. I had 3 months of training to do this. I had one response from a subscriber, and it made everything so worthwhile. And if I can touch one person, inspire one person to live their most incredible life and go on this incredible journey called life, that was enough for me. And I kept thinking, if I could touch one person, inspire one, I could inspire a few more. And that's the only reason why I do this. I don't do this because I want to see, I want the likes. I don't do this because I want more subscribers. I actually am really gobsmacked. Hang on. I gotta check, because I don't even know how many subscribers I have. So let's have a look. We're together. We're live. Let's go. Let's go on to my YouTube channel, Venetia. I have to actually Google, literally put it in here, because I don't really look at it. I didn't even spell it right, but let's have a look if it comes up. Oh my God. It's actually gone up. I've got 412 subscribers. Did you see that? Holy fuck. I didn't even know that. Now, in saying that, I swear to God, I did not know that. Anyway, they must think I'm a Fruit Loop because I haven't posted anything until 3 weeks ago. That was 3 weeks ago. So that's what I just wanted to say to you. I didn't do this for the popularity. I'm actually really stoked that I've got 412 subscribers. But I did this because I wanted to reach out to people. I want them to see their greatness. I want them to experience an awakening. I want them to have the most incredible life. I want them to manifest the most incredible life. This has been my purpose. And yes, I've been sidetracked because I've done all the stuff. I've done all the videos that people wanted. I've done the videos because I saw the numbers were there. And yeah, I don't mind doing those. But the truth is, I actually did this for my meditation, hypnotherapy, and all the self-help stuff. And I hate using that term, self-help stuff. But anyway, all about consciousness. So this is why I did this channel. Unplugging has really given me some clarity on that. Unplugging has made me really, absolutely connect with the natural world. I go for beach walks now almost on a daily basis. I swim in the water even though it's cold. I spend more time with my husband. We do afternoon walks. There's just so many more things that we took for granted before. And that's because you were always on a computer or a phone or a laptop. And that took up a lot of your time because you end up sitting there for 3 hours not knowing that you've been sitting there for 3 hours, but your legs gone numb and your hip hurts because you're sitting in awkward positions looking at drivel, literally drivel, to be honest. So read a book, sit out in the sun, get some sunshine, you know, get out in nature, regardless of where you are. Get out there and realize that the technology is never going to go away. It's always going to be there. But do you really want to go through life, spending your entire life literally being a slave to the social media platforms? What a waste of a life. I mean, that's just a waste of a life. What did you do in your life? Well, I spent like 60% of it on social media. Wow. And what did you accomplish? Absolutely nothing. Oh, I've got, 50 million subscribers and I get an income from, YouTube. Oh, what's no big deal. If people are aspiring for that and that's your goal, great. But the truth is, it's not going to make you feel any better. It's not going to make you feel enough. And it never will make you feel enough. Because all you're trying to do is fill a void with an addiction. And the addiction is social media. And that social media knows exactly what they're doing. And they are very good at it. And hence why social media is the greatest distraction. It is the greatest manipulator. It actually makes you, it divides people because it's actually influencing how you think and feel. And until you stop, until you take a step back, you realize that you've been addicted to something and it's actually influenced the way you think and the way you act. So I'm going to end it with this. At the end of the day, it is your responsibility whether you go onto social media. If you want to be on it on a continuous basis, then that is your choice. Remember, the whole thing about us is choices. And this is why I do understand, especially with my clientele, when they come to me and say, I have had my choices taken away from me, I feel completely violated, I feel like the trauma is just too much. And that's because not only has social media influenced, and not just social media, the actual media itself and television has influenced their lives to a point where they have had to they feel like their choices were taken away from them. And I get that. I do get that. Now, this isn't people who are anti-vaccine. Everybody's been vaccinated. Everyone I know is being vaccinated. The question should be is why they feel so helpless and hopeless is because their question is, when does it stop? When does it end? When does it end? The moment that you don't have a choice is the moment that people are going to react. And this is what we've seen. And it's so easy to do because they manipulate you. And unless you know that you're being manipulated, you don't get it. and you never will. So what I'm trying to say to you is, you have a thinking mind. Do not be a slave to anyone else's ideologies. Do not be a slave to social media algorithms. Do not be a slave to the way that they know how to target the behavior of their clients. The moment you become aware is the moment you start taking control. And whether you want to, log off and not use it for a couple of days, that's up to you. It's entirely up to you. But definitely read Jim Quick's book called Limitless, because it really does show you the impact. And we are slaves to our devices, but also how we can overcome that so easily by just awareness. And the awareness is the key. The awareness is the freedom that you need. So if you want that freedom, definitely go ahead, unplug, be your true authentic self, and just, so unplug and take this journey into you. You're the journey. This is your life. Nobody was walking in your shoes but you. So get on with it. Don't let anybody else manipulate you ever again. And with that, I love you. So please hit the subscribe button, like my video, put a comment down below, and remember, I love you. Mwah.